Hello everyone, I'm Captain Naked Panda, and today I have decided to do something a little bit different. Since I'm super busy with my work and I have no time at recording videos and editing them, I have decided to do a one-shot video and whatever happens, happens. So I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's just jump straight to the topic. What I want to talk about today are the poneglyphs, and more specifically about what exactly are they. And a good starting point for that discussion would be their origin. What we know until now from the story is that Kuzuki clan has started manufacturing these kind of stones 800 years ago. And what we also know is that the Void Century actually occurred between 900 and 800 years ago. So establishing that kind of timeline, is it possible that the Kuzuki clan were part of the ancient kingdom? I think it's very likely. And also with the reason that these poneglyphs contains all the recorded events that happened during the Void Century, this connection cannot be ignored. So after we have established this connection, can we actually assume that the Kuzuki clan were really good with technologies the same way the ancient kingdom was? I think it's really safe to assume, because where I'm going with this is that the poneglyphs are not just stones, but probably they're some kind of devices or technological devices. So we have actually several clues by the wording whenever we have faced the explanation about the poneglyphs. Nekomamushi has explained that Kuzuki clan has manufactured and constructed the poneglyphs 800 years ago. Also, Frankie, when he was listening to that explanation, made a compliment about their technological prowess, which really drives me in that direction, that the stones are not just stones, but they're some kind of devices, especially when they're indestructible. So also whenever these poneglyphs were compared to something else, all the words were placed in quotation marks. They were named books in quotation marks, they were named stones in quotation marks. Even the Kuzuki clan were mentioned to be stone masons, but the stone masons word was also placed in quotation marks. So that really makes me think that they're not really what they appear to be, but they're something else. Especially when you see how they're shaped. They have perfect angles and perfect edges and all these things. So this makes me believe that they're not really carved, but probably they're casted in some kind of formwork or something, just to achieve that perfect shape. Also, as I mentioned, they're indestructible, but in some way, the Kuzuki clan were able to carve in them, which actually carving in them means destroying the top layer of the poneglyphs. So that really makes me believe that they're some kind of devices, and in order to carve into them, you need to use some kind of special power. But we're gonna come to that later. So all this description really drives me towards the direction that these are some kind of devices. And here where it comes the role of the name of the poneglyphs. From direct translation from Japanese, poneglyph means text of history. But if we pay special attention to the word, it seems like the word is made out of two different words. One of them is pone and the other one is glyph. The glyph basically stands for some kind of written character, and the word pone really reminds me of our word of phone. And thinking about that, all the devices in real world connected with producing sound are called telephones, gramophones, megaphones, and so on. But what is really interesting is that the first device invented by Thomas Edison was named phonograph. And this name really reminds me of the poneglyphs. So this drives me even more to believe that these poneglyphs are actually some kind of devices. And why would the Kuzuki clan make these kind of devices to be able also to be heard but not only read? I think it was a backup plan. And that backup plan is in case if all the knowledge is lost about how you should read them or write them. And this is exactly what is happening in the moment when Alden was killed, just before he was able to teach Momonosuke how to write and read them. And they couldn't even count that there will be some awesome character like Robin that will be able to read all these characters and so on. So now it comes the question how you play this sound from these recorded devices. And here comes the role for the voice of all things. It was mentioned from Big Mom that Roger was able to use some kind of power about hearing the voice of all things. So that really proves that even though you're not able to read them, you can still listen to them and get the information out of them. But that's not all. Using the voice of all things, I think you're able to carve into them. And that's how Kazuki clan were able to carve into these indestructible stones. You know, I mentioned in the beginning that probably somebody needs to use some special power in order to destroy the top layer of the poneglyph in order to carve into them. So I think there are two types of usage for the voice of all things. One of them is hearing, and the other one is actually communicating or writing in some way. And this also we have also a clue towards that direction, because Momonosuke was not only able to hear Zunisha when he was on Zou, but he was also able to command him and give him orders. So that really makes me believe that Kazuki clan were able both to use and to hear the voice of all things. And basically that's all I wanted to say today. And to conclude and summarize all the things that I have mentioned till now, I believe that the poneglyphs are actually devices not only with written text but also with audio recordings about the events that happened. And basically how you can write on them is the usage of voice of all things, and how you can listen to them is using the hearing part of the voice of all things. So guys, if you have enjoyed the video, give me a like. If you didn't like it, dislike the video, and don't forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. More content is coming soon. See you guys.